Hi guys, I wanted to remind you as we talked about the introduction of our lesson that we're going to study for the next month over the state of Oklahoma. And this week we're talking about Native Americans. And I just wanted to give you a little glimpse at all the land that you see way out there and all those trees. This has belonged to my family for around 100 years. And before that, before Oklahoma became a state, this was a Native American hunting ground. And we know that from lots of history books. And in fact, my family is part Cherokee Indian. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the Cherokees. But I would like to show you something. And it's this right here. This is called an arrowhead. And an arrowhead was made out of a stone called flint. And it was used on the arrows in Native Americans that used to hunt buffalo, and buffalo used to roam here on the land where I live. And this was found when we started building our house several years ago. And this was a near perfect one. We found lots of pieces of one because when they turned over the land, but this is what was used, and there's been hundreds and hundreds of those found along the land and the creek where we live, which was a Cherokee hunting area. And so today I'm going to read you a story, a Cherokee Native American story that is one that I heard from some of my family before, but this is also one that I found in this book. It's called The Daughter of the Sun. The sun lived on the other side of the sky vault, but her daughter lived in the middle of the sky, directly above the earth, and every day as the sun was climbing along the sky to the west, she used to stop at her daughter's house for dinner. Now the sun hated the people on the earth because they never would look straight at her without screwing up their faces. You know how we squint our eyes when we look at the sun? She said to her brother, the moon, "My grandchildren are ugly. They grin all over their faces when they look at me." But the moon said, "I like my younger brothers. I think they are very handsome because they always smiled pleasantly when they saw him in the sky at night, for his rays were milder." The sun was jealous and planned to kill all the people. So every day when she got near her daughter's house, she went down such sultry rays that there was a great fever and the people died by the hundreds until everyone had lost some friend and there was fear that no one would be left. They went for help to the little men, who said the only way to save themselves was to kill the sun. The little men made medicine and changed 2 men to snakes, the spreading adder and the copperhead, and sent them to watch near the door of the daughter of the sun to bite the old sun when she came the next day. They went together and hid the house until the sun came, but when the spreading adder was about to spring, the bright light blinded him and he could only spit out yellow slime, as he does to this day when he tries to bite. She called him a nasty thing and went into the house, and the copperhead crawled off without trying to do anything. So the people still died from the heat, and they went to the little men a second time for help. The little men made medicine again and changed 1 man into the great Yucatina and another into a rattlesnake, and sent them to watch near the house to kill the old sun when she came for dinner. They made the Yucatina very large, with horns on his head, and everyone thought he would be sure to do the work. But the rattlesnake was so quick and eager that he got ahead and coiled up just outside the house. And when the sun's daughter opened the door to look out for her mother, he sprang up and bit her, and she fell dead in the doorway. He forgot to wait for the old sun, but went back to the people. And the Yucatina was so very angry that he went back too. Since then, we pray to the rattlesnake and do not kill him, because he is kind and never tries to bite if we do not disturb him. The Yucatina grew angrier all the time and very dangerous, so that if even looked at a man, the man's family would die. After a long time, the people held a council and decided that he was too dangerous to be with them. So they sent him up, and there he was now. The spreading adder, the copperhead, the rattlesnake, and the Yucatina were all men. When the sun found her daughter dead, she went into the house and grieved. And the people did not die anymore, but now the world was dark all the time because the sun would not come out. They went again to the little men, and those told him if they just wanted the sun to come out again, they must bring back her daughter. from the darkening land in the west. They chose 7 men to go and gave each one a rod and a long stick. The little men told them they must take a box with them. And when they got close, they would find all these creatures. They must stand outside the circle. And when the young woman passed in the dance, they must strike her with the rods, and she would fall to the ground. They took up the box and started home toward the east. And in a little while, the girl came to life again and begged to be let out of the box. But they made no answer and went on. Soon she called again and said she was hungry, but still they made no answer and went on. One after another, she spoke again and called for a drink and pleaded. So it was very hard not to listen to her. So we now know that the red bird is the daughter of the sun, and if the men had kept the box closed, as the little men told them to do, they would have brought her home safely, and we could bring back and forth our other friends from Ghost Country. But now when they die, we can never bring them back. The sun had been glad when they started to Ghost Country, but when they came back without her daughter, she grieved and cried, my daughter, and wept until her tears made a flood upon the earth. And the people were afraid the world would be drowned. They held another council and sent their handsomest young men and women to amuse her, so she would stop crying. They danced before the sun and sang their best songs, but for a long time she kept her face covered and paid no attention, until at last the drummer suddenly changed the song, when she lifted up her face and was so pleased at the sight that she forgot her grief and smiled. And the sun came back. A lot of these stories don't make a whole lot of sense, but they were stories about nature that the Native Americans told. And they would tell these stories sitting around campfires in their camps or maybe in their teepees. And what they had was called a talking stick. And this was used among several tribes. It would be a very decorated, beautiful stick, maybe with feathers or beads. And it would pass to the person that was talking or telling the stories. So this is one I made today. This is one that you're going to make tomorrow. You're going to go out and find a stick and decorate it however you would like. And the legend of the talking stick goes like this. It says that whoever holds the talking stick within their hands has sacred power of words. Only the one that holds the stick may speak, but must speak the truth from their understanding. So it's a fun game that we even play at home. And if we were at class, we would play it and everybody would make a stick, but then we would pass it around and only be able to talk if you were holding the stick. So tomorrow when you make your stick, I want you to maybe try it at dinner or maybe when you're hanging out with your family, and they can pass it around and you have to listen when someone else is holding the stick. And then you may talk when you hold the stick. So that's a little bit about our culture of Native Americans, and we'll be talking more about that kind of thing as we learn more and more about Oklahoma. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.